What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Show back with another video, and today we are talking about Sandland. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically that new game that's supposed to be coming out with the designs from Toriyama. I think it's his actual manga. Now, full disclosure, I didn't really know much about Sandland. I had to do a little bit of research, but Sandland, yes, is created by Akira Toriyama. It is known alongside the Dr. Slump series and Dragon Ball series, which he is more famously known for. The story is set in a post-apocalyptic desert world where water is scarce and the Demon King rules over the land. The plot revolves around a young demon named Beelzebub named Rao, who team up to find a legendary water source. They embark on an adventure filled with action, humor, and imaginative characters. Now, of course, Sandland is known for the art style of Toriyama. If you're not familiar with that art style, he has a very distinct art style. And you can see a lot of it in Dragon Ball Z. I feel like Dragon Ball Z is a little bit more like the refined version of his art style. Because if you've seen, like, he does the art for Dragon Quest, which is one of my favorite games of all time. He does the art for that, and that's an absolute banger game. It looks really, really good. And you can pretty much tell his works, because the main character kind of looks like Trunks with a lot of hair. Like an Android 17 version of Trunks, basically. So I was watching this, the trailer for it, like, and the gameplay for it at the Anime Expo. And it looks cool. To me personally, I have to get my hands on it. It's not something I'm really dying to get, but it's something that looks a little interesting. Like, it looks good enough for me to pick up. I think with Toriyama, I'm kind of biased. You know what I'm saying? I like to support all his work. You know what I'm saying? I love Dragon Quest. I love everything Dragon Ball Z. So, honestly, these designs they don't really seem like they'll be too hard for me to get into. Not really. And the story itself seems cool. We'll get into the story synopsis a little bit later. But like I said, you can kind of see like the tanks and the abilities and the fighting. I'm really curious to see how this game is going to do, because this is one of his lesser known works. Now, for instance, me being a casual Toriyama fan, I guess you would call it, I've seen all the Dragon Ball, seen all Dragon Ball Z. I've heard of Dr. Slump for sure. And I've seen a little bit about it, and you know, I pretty much know that it's one of his series. I had no idea that he did this Sandland series, and it's really weird for me because it'd basically be like if Oda from One Piece would have basically do another series, or he had done another series before, and I had known nothing about it. So this is kind of less field for me. I mean, like I said, it looks cool. I'm not gonna really jump on the hype train right now. When I was reacting to it, I kind of thought it'd be interesting if this was like a version of like Breath of the Wild. And I say this too much. I feel like I gotta stop saying that, because Breath of the Wild is such a great game. It's such a good game that a lot of games copied it and can try to copy the format and the art style, because they proved that the art style could work like visually on a Switch, on a system like that. So they proved that they can have a big world with stuff in it and stuff to do, and they proved that what they could really do to the Switch. And I feel like a lot of the games I like to compare it to that game, because when you're dealing with open exploration and stuff, that's the game you look for. I feel like in that game is like something around every corner to kind of check out. Hey man, I'm all here for it though. I mean, it's technically an anime. I love me some anime games. I'm gonna check it out. I'm going to look at it. I mean, I'm going to probably play it for the channel. If it's fun, I'll play it. If it's not, I'll drop it. In my original reaction to it, I was kind of more on the fact that it looks cool. Like, it looks like something I might be interested in, because here's my thing. I played a game called Dragon Quest Builders, and that game in itself I did not think I would like, but once I actually sat down and started playing it, I really couldn't put it down. It was weird. That game was so good, and it didn't have any like flashy graphics or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fighting system was pretty much bare. It's basically another version of Minecraft, you know, but with like the Dragon Quest characters and stuff. And I honestly did not think I would like it as much, but I absolutely love that game. It's one of my favorites now. So I'm not saying that the Sandland can't really spark my interest. What I'm saying is that it looked like a PS1 game. Not PS1. That's actually kind of crazy. It looks decent. It's just, it looks like a new modeled PS2 game. It looks like something I would see from that era, and I'm not mad at that. Obviously, Sandland has to be a very old property, because, you know, it was made by Toriyama, and I don't think he's writing anything at this moment, like, besides like with Dragon Ball. But in itself, it looks like a really old IP. So I'm not knocking it, but I'm not that excited. You know, hopefully it'll be good though, because we do specifically need better games on that side of things. Like, I feel like a lot of games in this particular day and age have just not been good anime games. You might get a trash anime arena fighter. Not talking about Jujutsu Kaisen because I know it's gonna come up. I'm just talking about in general. And so I'm not gonna judge Jujutsu Kaisen before I play it. So I'm just gonna leave that there. But in terms of this Sandland thing, it's Toriyama. I'm gonna choose to trust it. We'll see. I want to know specifically, do you guys think this is gonna be a good game? It looked cool, like I said, and I don't really know like there's gonna be multiplayer things with that. It looks like it's gonna be a one-off story. It'll be cool to drive around like some Castle Court vehicles and stuff, because you can see the style that he shows in his Dragon Ball like anime and manga and stuff. You can see the style, like the vehicles are real Castle Corp like all his words, definitely got his distinct art style, which is really cool. None of like the wacky creatures and stuff really throw me off. I seen people talking about that. Seen a lot of people in the chat, and it's like they're not really excited for it at all. I'm kind of worried it's not gonna sell well. And the thing about this though is that with this coming out and this getting a game, this opens the door for a lot of forgotten anime to actually get a game. It might be unique in taste. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna hold on to that, and hopefully we can get something unique like this. Hopefully this works out. Hopefully it's good. For one thing, I'm just gonna say that I hope it's good. Let me know how you feel about Sandland. Will you be picking it up? Is it gonna be like the next Gollum? Let me know that in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next.